So today I am starting a YouTube series where I will be investing $100 every month until the value of my account reaches $10,000. The reason I am starting this video series is because so many people are uninvested and reaping the benefits of investing because of common misconceptions. And thanks to the internet, investing has never been easier. And anyone can invest regularly as if you would pay your regular monthly bills. So for the series, I will be making one investment only, and that will be to the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, which I covered in my last video. The main reason I'm investing in only one ETF is mainly to show everyone that investing doesn't have to be hard and complicated, and hopefully it encourages those of you who haven't been investing to start investing and making your money work for you. And that's also why I am investing only $100 because I think most people, if they really try to cut down on their unnecessary expenses for the month, will be able to put aside $100 each month to invest. Now, there will be times when the value of my investment will go down significantly and up significantly, as that is the nature of the stock market. But whatever happens, I will continue to invest regularly every month on the same day and showing you guys my performance. As for the brokerage, I will be using M1 Finance as this series will be a long-term investment series. And if you guys would like to know the details on why I prefer to use M1, the first video I made was on that topic, so make sure you do check it out if you are curious. So now I would like to go over some news items for the past week and the upcoming week. So first we have 3.8 million Americans filed for unemployment again last week with a total of unemployment cases more than 30 million Americans out of work within just the past 6 weeks. This kind of unemployment rate hasn't been seen for almost 100 years since the Great Depression, and we are almost reaching unemployment rates seen from that era. On the bright side of things, the numbers of new unemployment cases have been going down steadily, and about a dozen states have reopened for business. About more than half of the states have seen the number of cases flatten or at least go down. But there are still several states where the numbers are increasing. And so a lot of investors are counting on the reopening of the economy, even as companies are not producing forecasts for their earnings for the year, and many are cutting their dividend and stopping their stock buybacks. Stocks started the week higher, but promptly fell the last 2 days of the week, with big tech like Apple and Amazon reporting their earnings and profits being affected by the pandemic. Apple was able to grow its revenue 1% from the past quarter, with the wearables and accessories segment rising 23%, but iPhone sales were down 17% for the quarter. Meanwhile, Amazon stock ended in the red for the week as it announced a revenue of $75.5 billion, which grew over 26% year over year, which is great for the company. But its bottom line, the profits, was not as rosy as the top line. With additional costs mounting due to the pandemic and lockdowns, Bezos said that it expects $4 billion in operating profit, but the company is expected to spend all its profits on COVID-related expenses. The next big news item is that the FDA approved the use of the remdesivir for treating COVID-19 patients, and the drug will be used to treat patients this week. An interesting thing about remdesivir is that it was originally targeted to cure Ebola patients, but now it's being used to treat COVID-19 patients. Thanks to remdesivir, Gilead stock has risen about 23% year to date. Now, the study done by Gilead involved less than 400 patients, and it was a single-arm study, meaning that it did not compare its results of patients that took the drug versus the control group. The study showed that 64% of patients who were treated with a 5-day treatment were discharged, and so the FDA approved the drug to be used as a treatment to allow patients to recover more quickly. An important thing to note is that remdesivir is not a cure for COVID-19, and the double-blind placebo-controlled study done in China earlier in the year did not see any benefit among the patients that were given remdesivir. But Gilead announced that the study done in China was ended too quickly and the sample size was not large enough to have any statistical significance. But as Gilead is starting to distribute and use their drug on COVID patients, we will eventually see if the drug proves useful.
It was now everybody that was potentially at risk.
Dr. Francis Rito is an infectious disease specialist on the front line of the war on coronavirus. From the first confirmed COVID-19 death in the U.S., Rito and Evergreen Health in Kirkland, Washington, are now at the forefront of finding a treatment. They're taking part in a clinical trial of remdesivir.
This is an intravenous medication. It's given for 10 days.
After it was administered to the sickest COVID-19 patients, Dr. Rito says it showed real promise. And that was just phase 1 of the trial. When you go into a second phase of the trial, what does that mean?
So the second phase is going to use this as the backbone. So every patient will receive remdesivir because the first trial, Act 1, showed benefit, shortened the course of illness, and almost statistically significantly showed a decrease in mortality.
In phase 2, some patients will also get a companion drug called baricitinib, which is used to treat rheumatoid arthritis. But every COVID-19 patient in the trial will now be treated with remdesivir. Why is that a big deal?
That's huge. This is the first scientifically proven beneficial drug in terms of the treatment of SARS-CoV-2.
Trials of the drug are happening across 68 sites. More than 1,000 people have taken part. The result? Patients recovered 31% more quickly with remdesivir. That translates to 4 fewer days of suffering in the hospital.
Although a 31% improvement doesn't seem like a knockout 100%, it is a very important proof of concept, because what it is proven is that a drug can block this virus.
Moving on to the next topic, Berkshire Hathaway had their first virtual annual meeting on Saturday, and to a lot of people's surprise, Warren Buffett announced that Berkshire has sold all of their airline stocks. Just December of last year, Berkshire owned 42.5 million shares of American, 58.9 million shares of Delta, 51.3 million shares of Southwest, and 21.9 million of United. And he sold all of those shares valued at $4 billion. Despite the falling oil prices that should benefit the airline industry, the pandemic has caused US travel demand to fall 95%. And according to the CEO of Delta, 80% of flight capacity is idled, and it will take about 3 years before the airline industry sees a revival. Even with the $85 billion bailout plan by the Fed, a lot of investors are worried that some of the smaller airlines that are being barely kept afloat is for inevitable doom. So it seems like Buffett's action of selling off all his airline stake will bring down the already battered airline share prices when the market opens.
Means we were not disappointed at all in the businesses they were being run and the management, but we did come to a different opinion on it. And they're the 4 largest U.S. airlines. It's the American Airlines and Delta Airlines and Southwest Airlines and United Continental. And I think collectively they probably are at least 80% of the revenue passenger miles that is flown in the United States, and they have significant international flying too, excluding Southwest. So we like those airlines. But we don't. I like the world has changed for the airlines, and I don't know how it's changed, and I hope it corrects itself in a reasonably prompt way. I don't know whether the Americans have now changed their habits or will change their habits because of an extended period, if it happens that we're semi-shut down in the economy. I don't know whether the trends toward what people have been doing by phone. I mean, it's been 7 weeks since I've had a haircut. It's been 7 weeks more than 7 weeks since I put on a tie or anything. I've been just a question of which sweatsuit I wear. So who knows how we come out of this, but I think that there's certain industries, and unfortunately, I think that the airline industry, among others, that are really hurt by a forced, in fact, shut down by events that are far beyond their control.
That's gonna do it for me for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.